Alrighty then, do we have signs of life? Alrighty then, do we have signs of life? We do indeed. So, ta-da! Whoops. Sorry, the wrong thing. Whoops. Sorry, the wrong thing. And audio's doubled. Okay. Is what it is. That's why I put the scuff tag. Howdy. Hope everyone's doing well. Jumping into Silent Hill 2, the remake, not the OG. I like both of them, but I prefer the original just because I had a special place in my heart. One of my favorite horror games of all time. Probably, no, what am I saying? One of. It is my favorite game of all time. Yeah, we're going to jump into the remake. Last I remember, we were at Brookhaven Hospital, so I'm just going to kick off there. Not really much to say on my side of things. I took it easy today. Basically just chilled, stayed home. I did have a shopping trip and a trip out to the doctors, but who doesn't do that every once in a while? You know what I'm saying? Fun new game. Well, it's not even new. It's been out for a while. It's Perry Pet. I can't pronounce it. It's from Polish developers. I just butcher it. But I'm playing that over on YouTube, and it's quite fun. Soviet punk, brutalist, kind of. I wouldn't say post-apocalyptic, but yeah, it's definitely got a vibe to it. Oh, hang on. The internet's doing the thing I didn't want it to do. We've got the scuff tag on because my internet's been playing up recently. It should, fingers, toes, and other appendages crossed, it should just make it through by the skin of its teeth, but well, we'll see how we go. Anyways, enough waffling on, let's do this thing. I say that, followed by an immediate awkward silence while I wait for the game to launch. We are drinking water this evening, by the way. Game. Until 2. There you go. Now we're cooking with gas. Hey, Faye. How you doing? Joined the 2D ranks. I have indeed. I finally managed to get it working, but I don't have a 2D model, so I borrowed a free one. How you doing today? Hope you're having a lovely Friday? No, it'll be Saturday for you, I think. Or Friday about to tick over Saturday. Whatever it is, I hope it's a good day. I don't have any toggles or any of that stuff working yet, but game of inches. Saturday morning, the perfect morning. Hey, Ashrafel. Thank you for the resub. 21 months, holy crap, we're nearly going on 2 years. I can't even believe I've been streaming this long, let alone monetized for 2 years. That's wild to me. But thank you, I really appreciate that, man. Really, really appreciate it. It's always heartening just to have even one come through, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, yay. Can't put it into words. It's just one of them things. Even for a hobby, it's just nice when something comes of it, if you will. Thank you. So the only downside to using a 2D model is that now, shock and horror, you actually get to see my real facial expressions a little bit more clearly. In case you're a fan, anyone's a fan of Emilia Clarke, which I am. You know when she smiles, she does the thing where she smiles and her eyes close a bit? I do that IRL as well. I've noticed it. I'm definitely no Emilia Clarke, but we have that in common at least. Yeah, I hope you're having a lovely weekend. Last I checked, we've only just entered Brookhaven. We've been here like 30 seconds. It's so peaceful, man. I love this. No more sudden neck detachment. No. Funnily enough, I was running out of space on my hard drive. Well, hang on, I should probably set context for this. The program that I was using for my old V-Road model to actually puppet it is called Virtual Puppet Project, or VPumper. And because I'm on Debian, and as we know, Debian has really old packages of everything, I install FlatHub. And then what that allows me to do is I can run flat packs of popular apps and I can use versions. So whilst my main system is a bit older but stable, I still have access to newer packages, and I can sort of, within reason, I can move forward and backwards version-wise if there's a problem. Like OBS, for example, absolute shit show on Debian so far. Like, I had one working version of it, which is the one I'm using, and then every other version that I've tried has had some non-negotiable problem with it. Like, one of them, for some reason, window capture stops working, or the other one, some kind of sound problems happens. It's usually to do with window capture and similar. So the way I got around that was, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll install the FlatHub version of it, and then that way I can use I keep saying FlatHub, Flatpak. FlatHub is the website. I keep using the Flatpak version of it because there's a way you can actually move forward and backwards through branches of the same program. So I got a working version, and then I wait a couple of months until a new version comes out, and then I upgrade to that, and then when it inevitably breaks, I downgrade back to the version I know works. And it's just really cool to be able to do that. The downside to that is it takes up a lot of hard drive space for each Flatpak you install, because all of Flatpaks have their own dependencies with them. VPupper, the program I was using, was taking up hundreds of megabytes of space. I'm like, well, I've sort of made the jump to the 2D. It's time to just get rid of all of that to make room. In addition to deleting a bunch of old videos and archives just to save as much space as I could. I think all my hard drives are at like 75% capacity used. There's like 3 of them in this machine, and they're all like 75%. So yes, the broken-necked days are gone. We don't have the combination for that yet. They've been testing that, it's not quite as old. I've not on a Flatpak. Flatpak is fantastic for people like us on Debian. Like, if you're using it, you already know older packages, a lot of stability. I know you're using the testing version, which I think the Debian project, the guys are like, it's probably not a good idea to use testing because it doesn't get the same security patches. Actually, no, what am I saying? It's, testing is less stable, newer packages, same security updates. It's the other one, unstable, I think it was, which may not get security updates, but has newer packages. But even so, for people like us on Debian, Flatpak gives us access to some newer programs we might need. Just because I need a newer kernel. Ah. Yeah, if you need a newer kernel, then Flatpak's not going to do anything for you. It's only if you're like me and you need a few programs to be more up to date. Realistically, I've only just started using Arch on one of my laptops, and I couldn't really comment on how useful it is or stable it is. Like, it's a fantastic operating system. It's great that it's always up to date, but I keep hearing rumors about how it'll break packages and your system will just need to be not manually restored, but require manual intervention more regularly. I haven't experienced that, but I prefer stability over the newer stuff. So Debian Stable plus Flatpak is the perfect marriage for me. The only other thing that would be better would be NixOS, because your whole damn system can just roll up and down through different snapshots. But that's a little bit overkill for what I need. Okay. We'll start trying some of these doors now that we have the map. Please keep those down. So halfway through my PhD and they replaced Python 2 with Python 3 and broke all my stuff. Oh my goodness. Funnily enough, the way to get like live 2D, actually the exact solution that I'm running is VTube Studio is just running using Proton, so thank Gabe and Valve for that. But I'm using a webcam instead of like a phone for tracking, and the way to get the camera input is to use a Python, basically it's a Python script, and it's using some other program called Open something Face. I can't remember what it is. It's one of the really popular ones. And I had the same problem. I just had to create a virtual environment so that I could run older Python packages that work with all this. So, yeah, I don't know if that could work for you, because I know there was a lot of work around transitions between Python 2 and 3. But yeah, virtual environments was the saving grace this time around for me. Back then they didn't really have Python virtual environments. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, my experience with Python is pretty limited. I've only used it a few times for a couple of odd projects. Like I used Beautiful Soup, which is a pretty popular library for web scraping, just to grab images off websites. And then a few other bits and pieces here and there. Then it wasn't Django, Flask. I think it was Flask. There's also a really cool, like a web development framework for Python called Django and Flask. I used Flask for a while for a couple of projects. Oh, I've forgotten how to play this game. We don't want the map. We want to change weapons. How do we use our... That's what we wanted.
Not sure. Better stay on your guard.
It was us, Maria. We literally saw her shadow this thing. I wrote it down for you in a way you should finally be able to remember. Once you're in the lobby, just look around. Now remember, nurses, doctors, trees. So that'll be the combination for the lock that we saw. If I remember correctly, there's dates on the pictures. Like years. So I'm guessing some combination of those represents the numbers on that padlock. Yeah, that's pretty much just my setup, really. Is that I'm now off Virtual Puppet Project, which was kind of cool. It was great to get it running. And now I'm just using VTube Studio and Live 2D models like everyone else. Whether I actually get a proper model made, I don't know. For now, I just took a free one. Credits are in the description, by the way, if anyone else wants to use it. But yeah, now that this is running reliably and stably, it does make sense to try and get a model made. But for cheap, because I am cheap. And I'm in no hurry. Alright, so... nurses, doctors, trees. Well, it looks like That's the doctors. So there's 2 of the doctors. There's the nurses. 1, 2.
You looking for something in these photos?
Yes, ma'am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 nurses, 2 doctors. And what's the other one they were after? Trees. And I see 4 trees. So it's some variation of 7, 4, 2. Depending on the order. So... where's this? Lockbox is over here. That's the run button. Man, this music is lovely. It's so peaceful. Wait, no, this isn't the right way. This is the right way. Alright, so... nurses, doctors, trees. So 7 nurses, 2 doctors, 4 trees. So presumably 724.
Looks like there's a key in there. No combination, though.
We should look around. Might be written down somewhere.
Jackpot.
What is it?
Basement.
Ah, just when I thought things couldn't get any creepier.
I think Team Bloober, who did this remake, they recently released their other game, which was... it's called Kronos New Dawn or something like that. Some kind of strange sci-fi time loop thing. I was interested in it, but then I saw a review of it just this morning, actually, and the review made me, let's just say I'm going to wait for it to go on sale. Like one of the really big sales. Like 50% off kind of a sale.
This place feels so empty. More than the other places we've been.
I don't really buy anything full price anymore. Yeah, it's really hard to justify buying anything full price anymore. Games, music, anything. Like even with the Silent Hill 2 remake, as much of a fan of the series as I am, as much as I desperately wanted to play it, I waited until it was like 30-40% off or something before I picked up a copy. I think Fallout 4 was sort of the last game that I bought on launch day at whatever price it was being offered and didn't care. Every other time it's just been like, yeah, nah. We have to get good deals. Or it's a no-go. Last game full price was probably Signalis. I mean, if it was Signalis, that was an amazing game, so... it kind of, and even then, Signalis isn't that expensive, right? It's like something like 20-30 bucks. So, yeah, it's very reasonable. 15 euros or so, yeah, exactly. If a dev comes out with a game that's that good for like $15 to $30, depending on prices and sales and whatnot, then holy crap, yes. Snap that up. But like a $90 game, an $80 game, not in this day and age, not in this economy.
There.
Laura! Wait!
Damn kids.
It's okay. We don't want to hurt you.
God damn it.
Typical
would you
parent.
do this?
God damn it.
I don't think she likes me very much.
But why?
I don't know.
Look, it's the place. I love it. Whenever I see rabbits in anything these days, I think of two people. The first is Laplace, the rabbit VTuber. The second is Doobie, who has two pet rabbits. If you're ever watching her streams, you'll hear him thumping things in the background occasionally. Alright, I think we got a basement key, so let's try that. Oh, one thing I need to mention is, with this game, one of the things I've noticed is it regularly drops frames pretty badly. Like, we're talking down to 10, 12, 15 FPS at times. So, 30 FPS is probably the best we're going to get, unfortunately. I was reviewing Laplace equations yesterday. Yeah, for the optimization. I was watching a little video essay which talked about how developers these days don't spend a lot of time optimizing their games. They don't have the same hardware constraints they had back in the early days with, like 8 megabytes of RAM and all kinds of crap. So they just don't really bother. Which makes sense if you've got a massive deadline, but it does mean that reasonably sufficient hardware just gets stuff to run. Kind of ironic because they added the flog. Yeah, exactly. So I think in the original games, and the same is true of Shadow of the Colossus as well, because of the hardware limitations on the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 1 as well, they implemented the fog to hide the short render distance the console could actually manage. And it made this really cool atmospheric effect, which has been a staple of the franchise ever since, and it was fantastic. But they don't really worry about that anymore. They just expect people to buy better hardware to play their games. I think Starfield from Bethesda was the other one that was guilty of that, where they had these insane specs at launch, like, oh, just buy a better PC, upgrade your parts. And I'm just like, dude, what? No. Seems kind of sad they don't. Yeah, exactly. And some of them don't fix it after, exactly. It sort of depends on the game and the studio. Like, some development studios seem to getting bought up by Microsoft and the rest, and then after the game is dropped, the studio just gets wound down or shut down or whatever, and they get forced to move on other projects. But then you have solo developers like Concerned Ape, who made Stardew Valley, who's still releasing free updates and improvements to the game years later. So you can see, if people have passion and the ability to do what they want to do, then they can do some amazing things. Seems a perennial issue with Unreal Engines.
This one's open.
Girl, this is a horror game. Don't run off on your own.
Nope. Doesn't work.
I usually think Marie is pretty switched on, but there are times I'm just like, have you never seen a horror movie? Like, seriously. Perennial issue with Unreal Engine was probably just the engine has so many features, they turn it all on when they probably shouldn't. I mean, it could be. I've never tried Unreal Engine. I did have a look at one game engine a while ago just to have a bit of a play with it, but I have nowhere near the skill necessary to mess with one of those, to be honest. Devs, that shit's expensive. When it's not a few hundred to a thousand for new PC parts, then that's viable. Exactly. 1.7 is wild for Stardew, especially with the Haunted Chocolatier being revealed. Yeah, I heard about that. He's working on a new game called Haunted Chocolatier. And the meme is when he gets sick of Stardew, he goes to work on Haunted Chocolatier and vice versa. So you can see when there's updates to one or the other, it's like, he's getting frustrated with that one, he switched over. Which I thought was really cool. I do that with stories. Yeah, sometimes you get sick of something and you're just like, I have to change to another project just to get my head around it. Ooh, bullets. Just a good... I think that's a good way of doing creative work. Has too many stories. Which is kind of glad why I have music now when my writing is a chore. Yeah, I mean, I go through phases. So I'll go through a phase where I'm like, I can't listen to music. I have to have dead silence and just work on one thing. And if I look at anything else, I'll get nothing done. And then there are times I'll flip through 2 or 3 story ideas and maybe I'll listen to music or throw on a podcast. It just depends on my mood sometimes. But it's been a while since I got a project fully finished and out the door, to be honest. I don't even know why I'm staring at that. It just looked cool. Alright, let's get a wriggle on. We're in the basement. There's going to be lead paint all over the place and asbestos.
Generator.
You think you could get it working? Might get the elevator running again.
Emergency fuel reserve in the storage room. That does make sense. And funnily enough, that is actually... What? Funnily enough, they do actually keep spare fuel in places like this. Oh, hey Lizzie, welcome in. How have you been? It's been a while. I hope everything's going well with the medication and whatnot. I remember it was... Oh, we've got company. Epilepsy meds. Where is this cheeky little bugger?
Ah!
Whoa! Where did you come from? Okay, there we go. Alright, I need to get used to the combat again. Medical... The equivalent of a Red Bull, and we're ready to rock and roll. Oh, there goes the internet. I was afraid of that. Is it going to recover on its own? Yeah, maybe. Stream buffers, you got the shit smacked out of you. Yeah, I've been having some internet troubles lately. Historically, I've had one router which I've used, which has always been reasonably good. But then even that one's decided to die recently. So I've had to reduce the bitrate of the streams, and then we're sort of on the cusp of being able to stream at all. This happened before, like a year ago, where it was just crap for a couple of months, and then I think they were doing something with the towers nearby, and it suddenly fixed itself. So we're going to struggle on, and if things work the same way they did back then, we'll eventually be okay, but it's going to be kind of rough for a bit. Because pretty much all the buildings where I live are ancient, and there's no... Oh, there it goes. That's really bad. Ugh. Yeah, all the buildings are pretty old and they've all got crappy connections, and I see something. I see something right there. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I remember one of my old apartments, I had horrible internet, and at one point, a technician actually was sent out from my ISP, and I actually went with him down to the basement, and we literally saw copper wire cables that were exposed to the air. It was full of rats. It was all dusty and horrible, and you could see water dripping on the connections where where the cables came from the pit outside into the building, and that explained why I had such terrible internet in my actual apartment. Like, you could literally see water dripping on it. And pretty much every building around here is the same. So I have to use... Oh god, that's really bad. I have to use mobile broadband, which has generally been relatively reliable, but has recently just become horrible and unstable. Like tonight... Ugh. Anyways, we'll keep on keeping on the best we can. Alright, there we go. Back in my day, the net used to screech in pain when you addressed it. Yeah, the old dial-up tones. I love that. I think the part that I like the most is just how inventive it was, just the idea. And then things have changed since then, of course, but... yeah, I still can't get over how awesome and strange our technology is at times. Like, what? You use sound as a way to transmit information? The noises mean something? What? Parents' bank account from the phone bills. Oh yeah, imagine the days when you had like 2 gigabytes of data a month and it cost you like $70 or whatever it was. Wild. I remember back in the day, the first time I got reliable internet, I had a 2 gigabyte per month limit, and then I had to pay if I went over it. So I had to keep a spreadsheet, a literal spreadsheet, tracking my usage every time I turned on the internet. And then I had to stop myself before I got to that data cap all the time. I still have a data cap now, but it's in the hundreds of gigabytes instead of 2, so it's a different kettle of fish. Like, all told, I have, across all my various devices... Oh, hang on.
They're coming.
Cheeky little. All told, I have like 600 gigabytes of data per month, but that's costing me through the roof. The amount of bleach you use is getting ridiculous, and the sheets are not getting any whiter. I won't ask any questions. Just end it. So someone's trying to do their job, and the hospital's like, yeah, nah. We can move this, and I can tell that because we have the thing. Where are we moving it to is the question. There's usually a window or something. Had to pay for the... nothing like waiting 20 minutes to download a 4-minute song. Oh, hell yes. That's still the case for me sometimes. Had to pay for the phone line rental, the ISP subscription, and then the per-minute phone call. Ugh. Man. Things used to be awful. I'm so glad that they're different now. I think, wasn't there something creeping around in here? Oh! Hello. Quit dodging. Oh, careful, Maria. Where's this cheeky bugger? Oh, no. Got him. Or her. We still took a hit there, which I don't like. Because we only have... wrong button. Hit. I didn't mean to use the good one.
Is it over?
Got a lurk, got some prep for the show. No worries. Thank you so much for the lurk, and have a lovely, lovely rest of your weekend, Faye. Appreciate it. If you're one of the few elites in the early mid-90s who had ISDN for 100 a month and then 2 simultaneous phone calls, twice the speed and price. Yay, yay, yay. Yeah, things used to be wild back in the day. And then we had a golden era where things got really good, where all the providers were like, oh my god, let me just throw free data, let me throw all this free stuff at you, just don't switch. And then now we're seeing the opposite almost, where providers are starting to remove features because no one else offers them. Like, there's an ISP over here called Vodafone. I mean, you guys have it overseas in Europe and whatnot as well. And they had a pretty attractive plan. I was looking through it and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty good. And then as I was reading through, there was one line in there, and I can't remember exactly what it said, but it's like, the gist of it was, because of the nature of the connection, you can't reliably create any SSH connections. And I remember just reading that going, wait, what? How does that even work? I SSH into things from a phone, but for some reason in their terms of use there was just a call out saying, yeah, you can't actually do that. And I don't know why, and I didn't read into it further, but that was the point. I'm like, yeah, I can't use this ISP. Because I only use SSH for a few things, but...
There's more of them.
Whoa. Oh, you cheeky little... Oh. Oh. Gotcha. And I think the other thing was, I know that in the US, for example, some carriers don't let you tether your smartphone and use its internet connection on other devices. And I was stunned when I learned that. I was just like, wait, what? It's your phone, it's your plan. You should be able to do whatever you want with the thing. Oh. Whoa, where'd you come from? Did you come through the wall? Or did I just not see you? Must have just not seen it. That's iffy. Probably some weird packet shaping thing. Yeah, and I don't get why. It seems like one of those things... Because, yeah, my router is literally essentially, it's a mobile phone with all of the other nonsense removed. And it just has a SIM card in it. And I know it's being terrible today, but historically it's been pretty rock solid. That's why the stream's buffering and... Ugh, today. Hey Pebbles, welcome in. Yeah, from the sounds of it, you've got the same problem with your ISP and your phone where you can't tether to your PC and whatnot. Odd thing, when I changed providers, they offered me one plan. I was like, no, I want the expensive one. They didn't try to upsell. Yeah, I found that kind of strange. Sometimes when you go into those stores, if you know exactly what you want, they'll either give it to you, or they'll be like, well, why don't you try this? Why don't you do that? And I'm like, no. Morning. Or evening. Well, no, technically. Hang on. In 13 minutes, it will be morning for me. But yes, happy morning, afternoon, evening, whatever. For everyone in other time zones. We are about to fill up a Jenny. That's this way. Oh crap, I forgot to get fuel for it. Dagnammit. Emergency fuel reserve and storeroom. So there's a room somewhere where I can siphon out some gas. Oh, look at that paint. Lord knows how much lead is in all this. Alright, I didn't go in here. This is probably what I missed. Maybe? Anyways, let's do this.
Hey. Where are you going?
Just past this hospital section. And then I plan to go back and finish it off again. And then I just didn't, so then I figured I'll start streaming it. Oh. Are we dead completely? We're dead completely. Crap. Why? Oh. Oh no, we're back. Are we back? No, we're not. Why are we intermittent again? Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.